Hello, everyone, and welcome to this powerful and much-needed conversation at the Talk AI Summit. My name is Magdalena Orascanin. I'm the founder and chief AI consultant at Magnate, and I'm a proud member of Women and AI. And today, I'm honored to moderate this panel with four remarkable leaders who are not only shaping the future of artificial intelligence, but doing it with integrity, responsibility, and human impact at the center. As AI becomes more embedded in our societies, workplaces, and personal lives, we really must ask ourselves, are we building technology that truly works for everyone? And are we considering the ethical, cultural, and emotional dimensions of AI, not just the technical ones? That's exactly what this session is about today. We are here to challenge assumptions, spotlight real-world strategies, and explore how to make AI more human-centered, grounded in fairness, inclusion, and transparency. And today I'm joined with Claire Farwell, strategic advisor and AI ethics trainer at AI Claire, and co-city lead of Women in AI Spain. Kate Carter, AI program manager for the city of Tucson, bringing deep insights into responsible AI governance. And Mike Pina, founder of AI Rocket Ship, helping organizations accelerate AI adoption in a way that's both strategic and values driven. We each come from different industries and backgrounds, but share a common mission, which is ensuring that AI, as AI evolves, it reflects the people it's meant to serve. So let's jump into it. It's not only about the technical challenge, but really about the leadership challenge. And today we will hear what that really looks like in practice. So there is the first question I would like to start with, and maybe Kate, you want to take on this one. Can you share an example of an AI initiative that truly moved the needle in your work, and what made it successful where others often fall short?
I am new to my role at the City of Tucson, but I am working on an initiative right now. So we have 5,000 city employees, and our city is roughly 1 million people or so. It's large, but also not so large that it's not manageable. And I am building an AI summer camp series to provide our city employees with AI literacy education. And I'm really excited about it because I can tell as I'm meeting with different departments, because I'm responsible for rolling out artificial intelligence with the police department, our water department, parks and services, everything that makes a city function. So they're all very different departments, all very important, but all have unique needs, that there's a curiosity there, there's a fear there. And so I thought, what a better way to make it fun is to do a summer camp like we would attend when we were kids. So it will be over the course of the summer, so 3 months, June, July, August here, and I'm in the background building now, but it is designed to get people up and moving and engaged, thinking about things differently, thinking about how AI can be such a benefit within our work, but also alarming and cause harm if we're not mindful as we deploy out in the city. And so I don't know the pain points that we will experience just yet, but I know that it's going to be successful because it's the first of its kind. And I'm taking that initiative to say that this is extremely important. If we don't take this serious, then real harm can be done. And so I'm excited to see what comes out of the next 3 months, because I just know overall more people will be informed about AI and that AI literacy will have increased. Claire, how about you?
Oh, my go. Yeah, I mean, I was just so excited when I was in the summer camp. I want to join in.
Yeah, please.
Take me with you, please.
Do some sports in there as well, please.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my go. I mean, I teach so many different types of companies, and whether they be small ones or large ones. And, some of the examples that I've had, and I've written some of them down because there's so many of them. I think one of the first ones was with Accenture. And, it was really about like having the flexible onboarding, but they were learning a lot from their team as well, because I find that when you have these sort of, master classes, it's first off, they learn from each other, just having that open communication. And then the thing that I, really, that really like moves me is, is obviously we want to get somewhere. We want that communication, and we want to understand what the problems are, right? Because I think a lot of companies hide them. There was a construction company as well. And I mean, it was the beginning of the end. And I wrote and I said, can you tell me some of the problems that you face on a daily basis? Good God, did I have a lot of questions, you know? So, you know, we tackled as much as we could. You know, they went back with a lot of things checked off that they could do bit by bit, but there are so many different problems. So it's always good to just sort of focus in on the little ones, as you know, right? Where do we start? Well, it's better to start with something little than not start at all, because everyone's overwhelmed, right? And then, you know, again, with like Cupra, who is a big car company here, I do a lot of workshops for them, and it's the same thing. It's like, we have a meeting first off. What is it that you do on a daily basis? And then we can, you know, tailor make, if you like, more so the tools that we need to talk about that they can actually implement in their workflows, right? Let's just get real. So I think that would be the reality behind everything, and then communication. And then the other thing, you know, that Magdalena mentioned too, is that I'm also the co-city lead for Women in AI Spain. Basically, it means that we have women in AI all over the world, but what we do is we put on events, we bring people together, community, master classes. We're all volunteers because, you know, we got to bring the women together, female first, and to show that there is a way to be able to learn about AI, just like you do, Kate, right? I don't know what you're up to, AI rocket ship. I can't wait to hear it. But it's really about the community and being together and, you know, listening to people's fears as well, right? I mean, people don't know what to do. So, you know, very much those would be my two things, you know, the community, bring them together, and then listening, looking at problems and fixing them one by one.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, and then you're over in Miami, is that correct?
Yes. I'm in South Florida.
Okay.
I'm actually in Miramar, 10 minutes from Miami. I just jump on the highway. But I'm from Miami. I'm raised there my whole life.
And I'm all the way here in Arizona. And Claire, we're experiencing similar things. So Mike, in Miami, what is it like? What is it like for you?
So with the initiative, first of all, you asked the best question, Claire, because it's the same question I get. And I deal exclusively with small business owners, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. It's how do we get started? Where do we start? That's always a first mind-boggling question. So the initiative that we launched was AI Full Throttle. I got together with some very, very intelligent people in the AI space. I was very blessed to have them in my circle. And we decided, let's put together our heads. Let's create a program to start empowering people. Because what happens, 3 years ago, I'm in a different role, right? And what I'm offering to small business owners are solutions primarily for digital marketing, right? But it came to a point where it wasn't worth the time in creating, let's say, content, whether it's a brochure, a video, something for social media, a proposal, because they need everything. I mean, a business plan. And I said, you know what? We need to teach them how to do it. There's too many people and there's only a few of us. We need to empower. So one of the strategic moves that we did with AI Rocket Ship and our circle of individuals, very talented people, right, is to start building AI community more than anything. Locally here in Miami and Miramar, Broward County, Miami-Dade County, it's the impact is most felt when we have strategic partnerships with schools, just like what you're doing, Kate. Miramar PD as well, local police as well, universities, individuals who want to invest, but tying in and pulling in all the resources of the movers and shakers in the community who realize, hey, we have an urgent need. It's 2025 and most of our business community is still wondering how to use ChatGPT. What is a prompt? I mean, very basic stuff. And here we are. We are here and we are providing an avenue for people to start learning through engaging hands-on workshops. So that's 2025 in a nutshell.
That's the right vibe to go. And wow, I mean, I love all of these examples that you shared. And it's so true, Mike, you have just named it. There is a lot of hype going on, but the people are still staying at the basics. They are not moving forward so much. And talking about this and the whole landscape, which is full of buzzwords, what guiding principles helps you stay focused on building AI solutions that genuinely serve people, actually?
So, sorry, this is for me. Okay. With that, it's always building real world solutions, providing outcomes for individuals, entrepreneurs, businesses, admins, you name it, solutions they can actually integrate into the workflow. What happens? Here's a typical scenario. I'm a business owner. I don't know much about AI, but I want to get started because I know it's going to be good. And immediately I go on the internet and I am supremely overwhelmed with all the options. There's an AI for everything. When I start scrolling through social media, I see all these influencers selling an AI product. About 2 years ago, they would sell you a pack of GPT prompts, 1,000 prompts for $50. And I always tell people, first of all, research before you buy. Look first, do a little bit of background on the organization to see if it's something that you really need. But more than anything, and this is one of the things that we teach with AI Full Throttle, it's understand the purpose. Why are you about to buy this service? Why are you going to use TurboTax? Why are you going to use Wix instead of paying a graphic designer or a web designer? Why ChatGPT? Why Grammarly? Why Google Gemini? Well, there's a reason why. Because first, you want to save time. Second, there are services that can write content much better than any of us can, because it pulls obviously all the algorithms together to be able to put out a great output for a conversation or a proposal. So ask why, and definitely, in cutting through the hype, you have to maintain very centered, because there's a lot of noise out there in the community, a lot, and it's overwhelming. Everybody's trying to sell something. So we have to often just take a step back, connect again with AI community leaders to ask what's good, what works, before you put your credit card.
That's a very good one. I couldn't agree more. And it's so true. I mean, and we are also selling, right, our services, our consultancies, etc. But the most important point is that what you are selling actually also matches the expectations, and, as you said, solves a real problem for the client, because otherwise, where is the added value? And Claire, I know that you are doing a lot of when it comes to AI ethics, especially. So we can see, organizations trying to scale with AI, and they are trying, as Mike said, trying to get all of these new tools at different types of costs, right? Sometimes it's our people that are suffering the most out of this. But where do you see the biggest missteps, and how would you ensure that the scale doesn't come at the cost of the quality of ethics, especially when it comes to AI adoption? Oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I try to keep everything simple, not only because I'm blonde, but it's just that most of us are non-technical in this, right? There's like 98% of us, if you look at a company, a medium-sized company, whatever, we're all non-technical, right? So we need to keep it really simple. And I like to give them 3 Ps, right? So just to sort of like think about, first off, the purpose. Are we solving the right problem when we're looking at something? And when it comes to people, who's benefiting from it? Who might be harmed? And then processes. Think about the third one, which would be, are we monitoring it and adjusting outcomes responsibly? Scale's not just about speed, it's obviously about doing the right things sustainably and ethically. So it's basically, having a thought behind everything. I have when I teach my classes, I've always got sort of everything simplified down into transparency and communication and clarity and privacy. And basically, can you communicate it simply so that everyone understands what's going on, and that these frameworks are simple, right? Just strip it down and just keep it really basic. That really is what ethics is about. It's thinking in amongst this crazy rush of innovation, and it just this just keeps speeding up. And all we want to do is keep going the same pace, but we have to just stop and think and keep it simple.
That's right. And especially one thing that I like to mention, and I keep on repeating that, is usually where have been our ethics before AI? Everyone is so much talking about ethics. It
Awesome
seems
question.
as if there were no ethics before AI. And this is absolutely ridiculous, because if a company has no like ethical guidance already embedded in their blueprint, then something is very, very wrong here. And it is
I
not something that we only consider when it comes to AI, but something where we as humanity have to ask ourselves, what are our ethics? What
I
are
think
the ethics that we
I
are
think it's our
looking at?
second chance because we didn't get it right the first time.
Yes.
And I think everything has led up to now. Everything has always been about labeling things, whether it be gender, whether it be race, whatever.
Yes.
And now what we need to do is we all need to make sure that we really understand everything in that aspect. Then the reason being that we need to be able to then label everything for the machine so that the machine understands it, that we can monitor it and we can stop, talking about all of that here, right? That's how I feel about it. So ethics, yeah, absolutely. It's what took them so long. Keep pushing.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And Kate, I would like to continue with you and also ask you, what's one common blind spot in AI adoption that, out of your experience, could lead to serious consequences if it's not addressed early enough?
I think because my role is unique, and it's they're designed to help manage an entire city. A common blind spot is skipping community engagement, because these tools, and I always pick on the police because they interact with our citizens the most. When they're thinking about, I just got a request yesterday for platform called geospy.ai, and it is so that police can spy on our geolocation with a photo. And so, like, yes, it might sound lovely, and I'm sure it would streamline and make crime investigation that much simpler. But as a community, do we want that? Because at any point in time when there's a camera out on a street and it takes a photo of you, how long are they keeping that data? What else are they using it for? Could a police officer misuse it? So I understand how these shiny things look amazing and you want to just deploy them right away, but that community engagement piece is often is left out of the conversation, and that's where the real harm can be done. I think that's one of, after this year, because this year is focused internally on our employee AI literacy, I am going to turn to the community. Our community has an elderly aging population. A lot of people move here to retire. They're at a different risk level with deepfakes and cybersecurity risk. And so I want to educate them on the things that are now current and maybe coming at them. We have a Native population, Latin population. And so each community, their needs would look a little bit differently, but it would be about engaging them and meeting them where they're at and answering their questions that they have. And then getting their permission to deploy robot police dogs if our city decides to, if they want that, not just leaving it up to the police. So it needs to go bi-directional. We need community engagement as well as leadership from the city, and meeting in the middle.
So important. This is really, really important. And Mike, I would also like to hear from your experience. What do you think are common blind spots? Because I think this is exactly what this panel is about, that we are having these different backgrounds and we can really share those real life examples with the audience.
Well, I think what Kate says, and to piggyback on what Claire and what we're all thinking right now, one big area that is of drastic concern is always going to be data privacy. Every single day we surrender our data to some company that may be offshore, handled by a team of like 3 people, because you can scale like that at this point. You never know. From social media to the apps that we have, from connecting with others or language app, you're always putting your data, your information out there every single time. Even right now, being on the browser, whether it's Google, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, your data is out there. And we have to ask, well, how is our data being used? We have to have clear understanding of how to retrieve it or request to cancel it. I also feel that overall, depending on where you are, you may be ahead of the curve when it comes to the rules in place, like the EU Act, what they launched in Europe, which was foundational, and giving people guidance as far as how to use AI responsibly, how to care for people's data. See, the new currency is data. It's no longer that you have to be worried about someone hacking your account or trying to rob you while taking cash out of the ATM, like many of us grew up, when we used to go to ATM to get cash. Everything is digital now. You have a digital wallet. You pay with Apple Pay, right? And that's where the risk is. Your information. I'm not even worried about things like my social security number being compromised at this point, because I get notices. Your info is on the dark web, and what can I do? Not much. I mean, I don't even know who to go after it. Even if I could, what do I do? So what Kate mentioned about educating our audience, our community, and of course, depending on the demographic, the audience, how they understand technology and AI, the point is that we have to be able to educate people about protecting their data, understanding that, yes, there's things like deep fakes out there, knowing what are the things that are happening in the AI and cybersecurity community. Again, this is why we have to depend so much on the AI community and the technology community, because we're merging the two minds, the two focus areas, to make us stronger overall. So data privacy is huge, and I am a big advocate when it comes for ethical AI, using it correctly, and being realistic with it. That's what it's about.
Being realistic is a very, very good word here, because as you said, Mike, we are already giving our data away for decades, I would say, right? When we started with smartphones and you download an app, you always have to give permission. And who has been asking back then, what is happening with our data? I mean, obviously, we have to be concerned about it, but at the same time, we have to be realistic about the fact that in some ways, we have to share our data in order to be able to work with AI and with the AI tools. But then to which extent? And this is exactly what it is about, that the people need to be educated on this topic. How far does it go? What's happening with this data? Kate said it. How long is it stored? Where is it stored? Is someone misusing it? What's happening? I mean, from my perspective, I am the most concerned when it comes to children. Anything that is connected to children, their safety, their pictures out there. We have seen what can happen, with pics of children, etc. I don't want to go too much into detail, but you know what I'm talking about. So these things, they concern me more than, as you, Mike, said, my social security number. I couldn't care less. But me working in HR, for example, it is a big, big topic, data security, talking about, personal information. We're talking about addresses of people, where they live, what they earn, their salaries, their incomes, their taxes, etc., etc. So those things are very, very, very important, and that's for sure. Claire, on your side, so what do you think? How can we handle those misconceptions when it comes to AI use and to all of this data privacy topic?
Well, I mean, I think it's just going back to what we talked about before. It's just about communication and communicating to everyone. How do we do that? There's making sure that we that there's no disconnect between all the frameworks and governments, etc. If you look at OpenAI right now, which is all about different countries, and then we're talking about countries and frameworks, but how do we keep the cultures? So it's just having that communication and that bridge between them, and going back to just keeping it simple, keeping the balance, that to me that's it. It goes back to that every single time. Like, we have to do it right, and we have to communicate and bring the communities together.
That's true. And talking about organizations, Claire, so you are also working as an AI trainer and consultant. So in your experience, what's the most important first step for organizations, and what should they avoid doing too early when it comes to starting with AI?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just having this conversation with another lady that we're going to be doing a big event with in September. And I'm just like, we've got to give it the reality right now. We were on the phone. We're only supposed to be talking about this event. And we were on the phone for an hour, just like putting the world to rights, which we could all do here as well, I'm sure. But, the thing is that when you go to any company, the question is what have they done already, right? Considering where we are in this road right now. Most of them have gone to the tech people and said, right, fix it, and the tech people can't translate and think of systems. And it's not just tech, plug and play. This is something that every single person in the company is going to be affected by, both with their mindset and they'd have to adapt to it. So first off, it's what have you done? What have you done, right? Come on, spill the beans. And then secondly, it's what systems do you have in place? Are you on board as a leader? Do you realize that this is something, these are decisions that you have to make, and that we need to have communication, and we need to have somebody from each department or somebody responsible to overview this entire strategy. Then we look at a strategy, but we can't build a strategy once we know the systems and what's going on until we really know what the problems are. But we're not going to know about the entire problems of a company in one go, because it's going to take too long and we're never going to get anywhere. So we need to just take some very sort of loose framework. Then we need to start with a pilot. We need to say, right, we're going to look at this one area and we are going to test it. We're going to have the people involved with it. We are going to learn if we're communicating properly with each other. It always goes back to that. And then we are going to make sure we have all the monitoring, or everything monitored, all the feedback. And then if we have to put in another tool, or if we have to connect another system or whatever, but just small little bits and communication. That's where we're at right now, because it's all about experimentation. A lot of people are stuck with data, messy data. We're, depending on the size of the company, we've got a long way to go. But I would say that's what we do first off. Just where are you at? And what are your fears? What do you think What do you think's going on? We're going to have this huge event in September, and we're having it, it's exclusive to leaders, because it's just we're going to tell you what's really going on. And we want you to tell us what's really going on, because we're not going to learn if we don't know that.
That's so right. And I love that you are saying this, Claire, because it's all about this bridge function and translating, actually. So I cannot stress about this enough, but I always say we need more domain experts to join in the whole AI field. People come to me saying, oh, what do I know about AI? I work in finance. That's perfect, because we are going to have AI tools in finance, and we need your finance expertise to know how to adopt AI in finance. Out there. It's so important that we get all of these domain experts on board and translate all of this knowledge, because this is how we can actually really move something and make things happen. Mike, what's your take on this topic?
Thank you. So before a company, a small business starts investing heavily into any type of AI tools, I would always recommend do an inventory of what tools you already have. People being your greatest asset. Why? Let's explain. Before you go and purchase a subscription to a new AI tool, it may cost your company $1,500, $30,000. I mean, the price ranges right now are like the stock market. They're all over the place, right? Check within your team. Who already is using AI on a personal level? Chances are a lot of hands are going to start going up. Before you go and hire an AI specialist, not saying that you shouldn't, go for it, absolutely. Check who already in the team is doing this. Now, this recommendation I'm giving is aimed directly at decision makers, those who are in positions of leadership, because we know in every company, it's always the tone is at the top, and that tone trickles down to the bottom, to the employees that are interacting directly with the customer. So speaking to all the leaders out there, do an inventory on your team. Have a town hall. Ask who's using AI. We can't make the assumption that the IT guys know everything. because I've spoken with many IT guys who are just learning about AI and they're clueless. So we can't make that assumption. It may not even be your IT guy. It may be one of the admins, somebody in marketing, somebody in finance, but it's going to save you a lot of money and a lot of headaches before all these salespeople come running to you with all these AI solutions. You already have an idea of what do we have in house, what are our problems, what solutions are we already using, so that we can ask those questions like Claire said. What are you doing already? Then you can move forward. So a personal inventory and definitely a business inventory of what do we have in this house as of right now. My recommendation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more on this. And we were talking already about tools, about frameworks, etc. But I would like to go a bit more specific, and maybe Kate, you can share some specific tools or frameworks or just approaches that have been particularly in helping you scale or personalize AI effectively.
Approaches. So with the city and scaling, we have had to start at the very beginning, and it starts with AI governance, because as we're thinking about scaling, we need governance in place to make sure that we're scaling ethically and transparent and accountable, like all of those things that we know are really important when you have AI adoption. And so the AI governance piece for us is vital. And what I say to the leaders that I'm speaking to, we need a containment plan, because essentially we adopt a tool right now. These products, these tools are not static. They have their own roadmap. They're going to continue to morph. They might not be multimodal when we begin, but end up multimodal. We don't know if on their roadmap they want to at some point capture our biometric data. So what is our containment plan when things go south? I think that's really vital to have in place in order to scale responsibly, in order to scale ethically. And so that's where I'm starting at, is that AI governance piece. And then our frameworks, we're building frameworks around for our pilot programs that Claire mentioned. Starting with a pilot is vital. We don't need mass adoption. Let's start small. Let's see what goes right, what doesn't go right, and then act and iterate accordingly. And so there's a variety of frameworks out there. I think it just depends on industry specific. What I have for police looks a little bit different than Parks and Rec. But ideally, we still need that governance piece, because real harm can be done. And I want to not learn from harm. I want to protect us from harm and then continue to grow from there.
Oh, I love this one. This is something I will write down and remember. I really, really love that, Kate. That's so true. Claire, is there anything you would like to add? Any tools or frameworks that have worked very well out for you?
Well, me on a personal note, I mean, it's like, and I'm sure the same for all of you, we're always like looking at our, daily workflow and how can it help? And then I just wonder, how I've ever managed life before. And then you see the things that you actually are doing and you're like, good grief, like I'm literally like on this, and I'm actually just finalizing my newsletter, which has to go on a Friday. So if you see me going a bit like that, it's because I'm completely multitasking. But that's because, I've got the GPT to help do all the newsletter. I would never in my right mind on a Friday do anything like that, or create a masterclass, or do a keynote, or, but there are these incredible tools that are relevant to me. And then of course I have a library of 2,500 tools that, you test and you try and you bring out more. And then there's the ones that always are still there that you go, and then you go to the companies and you go, okay, this is my palette. Let's have a look at you all. This is what I find, true and tested, but, oh gosh, you've tried that. Oh, this is interesting feedback. So, you've got to be open-minded, but again, without overcomplicating things, because it is this huge, like noise out there. We just, bring it down and we just look at one little thing at a time and we match it. So that's, that's what I would say is, learning personally, those are the go-to tools. You just keep coming back to them. and then occasionally, something else will come in. But I think when they have all of these updates, which is this constant sort of soap opera, if you like, of OpenAI and Claude and Mistral, and it's just like, oh, for goodness sakes. But then I think as we go on, more will be more innovated, and unless we have a system that is just in place and that is just going to continue in a company, and we're not open-minded to put something else in, there's something for everyone. There's no one perfect thing.
Totally agree. And that's the point, what we have also discussed earlier. It's all about real world examples. As Mike said in the very beginning of this panel, it's all about the workflows that you have and you want to solve actually with AI. No matter if you are a solopreneur, organization, a mid-sized company, look at your workflows and start to solve a real problem, start with a pilot, and that's how it goes, and how you can really, do some smart changes with AI actually. And before we come to the end of this fantastic discussion with those three of my favorite AI people, I want to ask you three a question, basically looking ahead in the future. And maybe Mike, you can start by answering it. What's an emerging shift in AI you believe is approaching faster than most realize? And what mindset or practice must we leave behind to actually keep up with it?
Very good question. The mindset is, I need to learn AI now. There's no more, I'll get to it. We'll learn next year. I have a friend who knows how to do it. It's not for me. I'm too old to learn. I'm afraid. All those are excuses. Plain and simple, they're excuses. That's the mindset we need to abandon completely, okay? Earlier this year, there was an initiative here in the United States to push AI adoption, and a lot of funding went into it. You can read about it online without getting into specifics. And what does that mean? Our schools are going to start getting affected by bringing artificial intelligence as a mandatory thing in the school, where kids are using the technology to enhance learning, not replace it. Enhance. You still have the human perspective involved, but now they can do more. I know this because I use AI even with my 9-year-old, and she's fascinated, and she knows a lot for someone who's 9 years old. Where were we at that time?
Wow.
So how much further can they go in today's world with the tools that they have now? It's like a friend told me, can you imagine, Mike, if we had the tools of today 25 years ago when we got into this? And I said, I never thought about it like that. We have a chance to take that what if and actually put something in motion now by teaching them. So we have to abandon the mindset as leaders, as individuals in positions of power, government, as educators, that we're not going to be adopting AI this year. You have to. It's either adopt or get left behind, and especially for the business community. So that's the mindset. That's what AI Rocket Ship is all about. Get on board, go full throttle, and embrace it. It's not going to go away. That's the reality. But I can tell you this, and I'll leave you with this. We asked the question, and I've been asked the same question. Will AI take my job? My answer is yes, if you don't know AI. AI is going to replace the jobs of individuals who are not using AI. You see, you don't have to be an expert.
Absolutely. That's what I say all the time.
Yeah. And you've seen it, Magdalena, in human resources, how much that industry has shifted. Most of us have seen it as digital marketers. How much can you do with one person, a job that used to be reserved for 5 to 10 people? You can do so much more. Just like Claire, writing and creating content on a Friday today compared to 3-4 years ago with the tools that were available, she can do so much more in less time. Now imagine taking that into your school, into your government organization, into your nonprofit organization, into your small business. We are in a very good time right now. 2025 is the year to launch.
Yes. Anything to add, my dear ladies?
I would add, and I absolutely agree with everything Mike mentioned, that AI integration at a government level in the public space is happening faster than most people realize. And I think that there's an assumption that regulation will catch up, our laws that govern us will catch up, and it's just not the case with how fast the tech is moving. And so it really is on us, all of us watching, to govern ourselves. So to have that piece in place. And so to have those ethics in place, to have the education in place, I hope to shape the city of Tucson to be a model that can be duplicated by other cities. But I want to set the bar high. And so as state regulations come in, we're already participating. We've already adopted these. We're ahead of the game. As federal regulations come in, our little city's ahead of the game. So I think it's important, because the laws are not there to protect us. The regulations are not there to protect us. It is on us to govern ourselves. And so when you see opportunities, advocate for them. When you see that there could be misuse, get out there and advocate for that as well, to shut it down. And so all of it comes back down to overall education. And when you're educated, then you have the knowledge and the power to stand up for when things are like moving in the right direction, as Mike mentioned, launching and taking off, or if we absolutely need to slow things down and contain it. And so, yeah, I would leave it there, that the power is in all of us to self-govern, to govern our organizations, city level, state, providence, country level, so that there's not harm done.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kate. Wow, that's incredible. Claire, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I mean, it's all that sort of everything's being said about, taking my job and everything. I think there's just been a lot of fear, and that's been, oh gosh, it's just so old news, but it's kind of like, yeah, there's all these roles that haven't even been created yet. And then it's like, well, how do we not put so much fear in these people as well? We say that it is easy for anyone to learn about AI because it's not technical, right? It's something that's going to help us. And I think if we just keep sort of mentioning that, and then I think also, like you say, ethics and thinking about, the responsibility that we have, taking that time. And then, I've got this passion project because I'm tired of this female first gender gap that, in 150 years, if we were to, it's going to be 150 years if we keep going the way we're going. So I'm going to government and I'm gathering all sorts of women's networks all over Catalonia and then Spain. And then we're going to keep going because we all need to join together. Kate and I have, volunteered before with Female First, and it's time, given our responsibilities and our roles that we have as well, to gather and unite people and to have more Female First women in AI and ethics, because why not? We need it,
So, we need it.
Right?
Absolutely. We need it. Wow. Thank you, Claire. Thank you to all of you, Mike, Kate, Claire. It was a wonderful discussion, and I think our audience has learned so much. We talked about people-first approach, taking your people on board. No matter if you are an institution, an organization, it's important to communicate with your people. Then take real-world examples you want to solve. Start with a pilot project. Start small and then scale, and learn along the way. Go and ask people to show you how to use AI. You can use trainers, consultants. You can learn by yourself. There is so much. No excuses, as Mike said. And again, I want to thank you for this wonderful and very insightful discussion we had here. I hope the audience enjoyed it as much as we did. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn. We will share all of our links in the chat. And we hope to see you very soon. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.